Welcome back. Some religious leaders aren't pleased with government's new COVID-19 regulations. Bishop Marothi Mashashane has told the Cooperative Governance Committee that taxis are allowed to operate at full capacity and yet churches are being limited. South Africa has reported over 11,000 new cases and 100 new deaths. Joining me now for more is South African National Christian Forum's Bishop Marothi Mashashane. Thank you so much for your time, Bishop Mashashane. Welcome to The Lead. Speak to us about the engagements you had with the Portfolio Committee. When was the meeting? I understand it concluded yesterday. What are some of the concerns that you raised with the committee regarding the current lockdown regulations?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Clement, together with the viewers. Thank you for having us this afternoon. Yes, the meeting was regarding the concerns which the religious sector ourselves have regarding the regulations and a number of things. The meeting concluded yesterday, as you correctly say. Some of those concerns was the exclusion of the religious sector from other sectors when we talk of the relief. We know that after the COVID-19, rise in the country, all other sectors were given a relief, including the artist, tourism, transport as well, a number of them. But when you look at the sector of the religious, it's like it's, overlooked. And when you go to when our members go to apply for the UIF, they cannot be assisted. Even the 350 rands which were given to the unemployment, the pastors don't qualify for as well. You go to the bank where there was a guaranteed loans, pastors cannot be assisted as well. Then the second issue is the inconsistency of the government when implementing or enforcing the regulations. We feel that the police, when they come to the churches, they come in full force, which is resulting into brutality attack. But when the politicians go into the court, they get their members accompanying them, breaking or violating the very same regulations, but there's no action that is taken. Some of them we saw on the 16th of June, they had their meetings in number, but there's no enforcement. But when it happens to a church is under attack in South Africa. And then we feel that the regulations are irrational and unconstitutional because they are not applicable to all sectors in the equal way.
Well, so an argument can be made, Bishop, that, sorry for coming in there, Bishop, but an argument can be made that the different sectors are not necessarily equal in terms of the economic benefit, right? So you may want to compare what's happening in restaurants that you can allow about, 100 or 50 people. You want to compare that to what churches are or are not being allowed. But these are, in fact, sectors that are contributing to the economy, aren't they? I'm sure if government had it its way, they would try and implement as hard regulations and restrictions as possible. But we cannot simply afford that. There are so many people that are employed by the specific sectors that you want to compare to the churches. No,
fair enough, I understand what you're saying, but we do have an answer on that. Remember that religious sector on its own, it's a sector by its own right as well, with its own employees as well. There's people that are working there. There's people who are working in the call center. There's cleaners. It's a number of employees that also put bread for their children through the religious sector. We're doing the counseling, we're doing call centers. It's a number of things. But nevertheless, you cannot, Clement, tell me that a casino, a gambling, can continue and do business as usual. with no limitation. Only they just have to obey the instructions of the health precautions, which we also do. And they are Monday to Sunday, those people. And there is no limitation of the number. But when it comes to a church, you telling me a church which is able to carry 3,000 members, it's now only limited to 50 people. And the church is only there for 2 hours maximum, once per week. So where is the logic? And again, if we the sectors which are making money, then they are free to risk the lives of people. It means in actual fact, we are compromising to save the economy more than the lives. We believe the government and we support the government on saving lives and livelihood. But that should be in the equilibrium. It must be balanced. What you apply on the left must be applied on the right. Because it cannot be that churches are not the economy. We are paying tax as well. And therefore, in that way, there's no separate government for restaurants, for casinos, for entertainment in the cinema when you are compromising the sector of religion.
Yeah, but is it true though, Bishop?
We are all equal before the law, and we need to be treated in the same way.
My understanding, Bishop, is that there's a limitation of 50. That's the number of people that are allowed to be indoors, and 100 people outdoors. That's what the president announced this week. I didn't know that there was carte blanche for sectors like the casinos and restaurants to just do as they please. That's not my understanding. Where are you getting that?
No, obviously, you can go to the casino, you will see it's not only 50 people entering the casino. It is not only 50 people entering the liquor store. It is not only 50 people that are in the taxi rank. It is not 50 people that are in the train or whatever. So, I mean, let us be honest and be fair to the
they're breaking the regulation,
sector.
Bishop. They're breaking the regulations. If they're not following the regulations that have been announced by government, it doesn't then make it right and suggest that as the religious sector, then you must want to argue that you also want to break the regulations and bring in more people. If the restaurants are not doing as the regulations say, the conversation we should be having is law enforcement needs to kick in so that those that are responsible for breaking the regulations are arrested. But we can't be having a conversation that, well, they are doing it, therefore we must be allowed to do it also, even when it's breaking the law.
No, Clement, I think with due fairness, all that I am saying is the religious sector, if they are found to be on fault, they have breached the regulation, whether it is because in the assembly where they are worshiping, let them be treated in the same way. It can never be right that the politicians can gather as many as they can, but when it comes to a church, then there is a brutality.
Yes, all right. I think we've lost the bishop there. We've lost the bishop. I think we've got connectivity issues there. That's Bishop Marothi Mashashane, and he's been chatting to us about the meeting that they had with the Portfolio Committee, raising some concerns as the religious sector. And what he was saying there towards the end is politicians can't be allowed to gather as they wish, but the politicians as well. And political parties are subjected to the same regulations. If you see more than 100 people outside at a political activity, they're breaking the regulations. But thank you so much to Bishop Marothi Mashashane for coming through on the lead and chatting to us.